Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ellen. So today we're thinking outside the box for greeting cards, and we're working on Mother's Day cards, as you can see, and they're abstract. But you could also use this for Father's Day cards. It's kind of a combo, right? Not everybody wants floral for their Mother's Day cards. Sometimes it's fun just to get something colorful and fun and different, right? So let's do some abstract, watercolor, playing with color and paint. And I just show you the technique I use and how I make my colors, how I make my color decisions. Sometimes you don't know what color decisions to make, and you just kind of have to play with it. You have to think about it. So if you have questions, leave them in the comment section. It's just fun to do this kind of stuff. And let me know if you like doing abstracts. Not everybody likes them. I like them. They're fun. Kind of reminds me of Princeton, right? Also check out my Patreon. I have ad-free videos, traceables, exclusive tutorials, and a live stream in the top tier. It's just a place people go and support my channel. I've also recently added a Facebook group for the Patreons where we do weekly challenges and monthly giveaways, and it's just a great place for everyone else to come together and chit-chat about what they're struggling with, what they're doing, etc., etc. So you can see all that in the link in the description below. Click on that and you go right to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's do something different for Mother's Day and paint some abstract watercolor cards. Alright, so let me go over supplies. I have 2 pieces of Arches 100% cotton cold pressed paper. They're like 4.5 by 6, and then just like a craft piece of paper. You can use, I have pale blue, you can use any color you want, and it's like you fold it in half so it becomes like a 5 by 7. Just figure out the size, and it doesn't have to be this size. You can be smaller or bigger, whatever you want to do. I'm just have a piece of cardboard here so you can see, on the white ground. It's hard to see everything. Make sure you have some white gouache, by the way. I will be using my paints here, and I have them in the description box. Always, just gonna put some white gouache out here, get it all activated. For brushes, you can play around with any kind of brush. I'm using my Princeton 12 Aqua Elite. A flat wash brush, just a cheap one. This happens to be Princeton 3/4 inch flat wash brush. You could use a smaller one. I have this really cheap one here. Oh my god, of course. I don't know, this is just a generic, nothing, no name kind of flat wash brush. So really it's just a play on color, all that kind of fun stuff. You don't have to make cards to be serious and have to have flowers and all that kind of stuff. Why not have abstract cards? Who's to say you have to have flower cards, right? Kind of fun, vibrant, abstract cards. So then you have to think about color choices. Blues and greens and pinks, or you can do all pinks and purples. I'm thinking about all different kinds of colors like yellows and corals and peaches, all that kind of fun stuff. So I'll mix up my colors first. I'm gonna mix up like a peachy color. So I have this bright rose here. Let's see if you can see this. Bright rose. I'm gonna grab some cadmium yellow deep. That's too very orangey, but I want it peachy. So it's good to mix up your colors first. And if you have a scrap piece of paper, I have a scrap here. Now it looks too orange to me. I want it more peach, so I'm adding more pink. And when it's watered down, we'll see. Still too orange. Add some more pink. Gets into more of a coral color. Water it down. Getting there. See, with watercolor, you water it down to get it lighter. With acrylic, you add white. So I'm adding some more pink. Let's see what we got. Kind of the color. I water it down even more. There we go. Kind of looks like the color. I love this color that I have called verditer blue. It's great. So I've kind of activated it. I might put some more on my paper here. My palette, excuse me. Everyone always asks me, what's this palette? This is from Sylvan Clay Works. I have no affiliation with these people. I was gifted this, so they're not cheap. They're ceramic palettes, and they can be very expensive. So just letting you know that they're not going to be cheap. It's already blue, so I'm playing with the colors. Do take a scrap piece of paper and play with the colors you want to use. And maybe a yellow, of course. Maybe that's too bright. Maybe I'll tone it down with some of this color here. Look at that. I like these 3 colors right now. Then you have to figure out, maybe add a third or fourth. You can do a green. So I'm going to grab my peacock blue, cadmium yellow deep, get a nice simple green. If I want a little duller, you know, I can add some of this burnt umber, a little bit of the peach into it, a little duller green. And then I think I might add a purple. So verditer blue again with this pink. That rose makes a nice lavender color. Ooh, pretty. Let's see if we can make, ooh, yes. Loving these combos. This is what you do with color. This is how you play with it, right? You might not like any of these colors that I'm using, but you figure out your colors, right? And don't put everything in the kitchen sink. Kind of edit a little bit, right? We have 2 cards here we're going to play around with, and we're going to have to do different ones in each one. So I'm going to do it the horizontal way, not the vertical way. And I'm going to have to grab more water on this flat wash brush. We're just going to do stripes. We'll do glazing technique. So again, I've got that peachy color. And just take it. Look at that. And if you have a little dry brush going on here, that's kind of cool. Hold it on its side. This is how you get fun with watercolor. You can get more water. See, now it's wet on dry. Grab some more water on your brush. You can kind of mush it. Add some more color. Ooh, I'm loving the peach. And it gets some variations with that orange kind of going in here. And this is how you do abstract. See? I added some water on that one, not in this one. I might go back over here and add some more watered. Look how pretty that is. I love this color alone. I wouldn't call it peach, it's more blush. Right, and get some more yellow in here. Ooh. See? Moving the brush like this. So now this is kind of blended in here, and it's got hard edges in here. You can play around with the yellow. Might go for it. It's a little orangey. Maybe I'll just grab some real intense bright yellow. Just a little mark like that. Maybe another one. Maybe one over here. You see? Really simple. Now everything's kind of wet, so you gotta be careful when you're doing marks. I might take the smaller flat wash brush at this point. Let me grab this green. Doing this kind of crisscross. Gonna grab some water. We haven't done the blue yet, which I'm excited about. So I'm seeing like this going in. Gonna grab some water on the same brush, kind of blend it. Now I'm going to test this. It's still very wet. I don't want to put the blue in on the pink when it's wet, because then it may not look pretty. So at this point, I'm going to let this dry. We can work on the second one simultaneously, right? Because we can make this one completely different. Let's go back and use the brush. The big one, the big flat brush. And a little more pink. So now this one I'm going to go here. Oh, I had a little green on there. And here. A lot different, right? Now we can go in. It's kind of dry brush over here. Grab some of that yellow. I'm going to water it down. Wiggle it. Wiggle it. Wiggle it. It changed the color when it went over the other color, right? And do some skinny lines. Whoosh. That's as simple as it gets with abstract. This time we're gonna go right for the blue. Got the blue over here. All right, let's see what we got. You know, if you hit the yellow, it's gonna make it green. Ooh, you can use it pretty thick right out of the tube, and it's like that real vibrant blue. Loving that. I love the energy of this. And you might hate this, and you might love this. It's up to you. We've got that blue. I'm loving this whole energy here. Green. It's going to make green anyway if it hit the yellow. And then we have that purple. Some of this is already dry because of the fact that it's kind of like a dry brush. Swoop. A lot of wind making marks like that. I can go back in with my blush. See? Making me a little more pinker and darker. Taking the chisel edge. And I've just really created something simple, kind of cool. And get a little darker with your blush. Oops, I have too much yellow in here. I'm gonna remove it. I have to mix up more because, well, you saw me put too much yellow down. There we go. Still looks orangey. Let's see what we got. I kind of like that. I'm loving this energy on the chisel. Look how cool that is. It's totally different than the other one. Now at this point, I'm going to clean up my brush. You can it's kind of just white in there. If you want to have a color in there, I'm going to get some, excuse me, clean water. That wasn't clean. Kind of blend it a little bit. It's getting a little dirty. I don't want it too dirty. Kind of grab that verditer blue and blend some of this. Loving the energy. I don't know, pink up in here. And we haven't done much of the purple, so. Yeah, I mean, I intended it to go a different way, but hey, it looks fine to me. So what is the deal with the white gouache? Well, at this point, you can play around with it if you want to. I'm just going to water it down and just splatter it in some places. Give it kind of a cool effect, right? I am going to let this dry because I want to do a couple more things on top of that one. This one should be dry by now. I am going to use the number 12 brush. And we can just do some teardrops. Little drops, little marks. Doing it with the yellow. You can make a much brighter. I didn't do the verditer blue yet. To drop. Ooh. Little marks. Doesn't have to be like this perfect design. I love to play with color. It's kind of my thing. So again, if you want to put this all the way down, and maybe have another skinny line kind of coming here. And I feel like the pink is really watered down, the pinky blush color. So I'm going to go back in and add just a little bit of that. And then put some over in here. It's really this simple. Maybe add another color. Ooh. Kind of going over that right in there. It changed, right? So I'm going to water this down. Don't want to get it in the blue. I'm going to grab my green and put some green over in here. Yeah, a little purple. Let's go for it. So the intention is a little bit different in this one. I do want to have some more like those square flat wash marks. So I'm going to go back in like that. Play around with that a little bit. And again, I might let this dry again and then go back over it again. We'll see. See what happens when you put the gouache, it does this really kind of cool effect. Most of it's dry. Now we've got these two funky things, right? I'm gonna go back with my blush tone and do those lines I was talking about right over. There's even more pink. This is how you do the abstract. You have to play. If you don't play, well, then you have no recourse of getting what you want. Okay. Gonna put some green in here. Yellow, peacock, nice bright green. You know what it reminds me of? I just realized this, and maybe you did it already. A Madras print. You know the Madras like plaids in the summertime? Maybe you don't know them, but that's what it kind of looks like to me. A Madras plaid. I just realized that. All right, put that one away. I'm gonna let this one dry and come back. So that one's dry. I'm gonna go back over it again with that peachy color. Yeah, now that I just said the Madras, I really feel like it's a Madras print now. It morphed. I had a different kind of intention for it. And this is why I say I like to do real-time painting and intuitive painting. You just never know what's going to happen. Do a little more of that blue. Coming through. And then if you wanted to splatter some gouache on this one, it might just stick white instead of just being blended, which is kind of fun too. You can go back over the first one, do the same thing, add a little more white squash. Or even color if you want to do that. So they kind of were supposed to be completely different. They kind of look similar, don't they? And then again, you can go back in and add some more like fine lines and more details. Take a marker or whatever, but it's kind of like a Madras print. Madras, Madras, Madras. I'll take the skinnier one. Add some nice little fine lines. And then when this is all done, we can write in our words. And you have to choose if you're going to use a marker or not. Okay, some of this Verditer blue, or even this green. Little marks like this. Just changes it up. You want them, they can be similar, but a little bit different. Just doing some little marks like this. It's so much fun to play with abstract. Just like that. All right, well, let's let them dry and come back. So once you finish whatever you want to do, you think it looks great, I would either grab a pen for this, a Sharpie pen. If you want to use the paintbrush, use the paintbrush. Do whatever works best for you. But it's easy to write words and letters with a marker. And just figure out where you want it. You can just write the MOM, one big letters, or Happy Mother's Day. So I'll write Happy Mothers. And you can do whatever kind of typeface you want. Right? Maybe you want to make it a little bit thicker so you can really see it. I'm using the Sharpie Ultra Fine Point pen. I know in England they have MUM, M-U-M. And it might have already happened already, but ours is later than theirs. Simple. I do it here. So it's kind of a modern take on a Mother's Day card. Not everybody needs a flower. Some people want something cool. And notice how I kind of put the letters in line. It might be a good idea to do as well. And then you just mount them on your cardstock. Like so. So that's why I picked the blue, because I was going to use Verditer blue. Bending this back is kind of bulking a little bit. You can use tape or glue gun or whatever works for you, and create your super cool abstract Mother's Day cards. I thought it'd be fun to do something different. You can't always just do flowers and things like that. Some people are funky. Let's do some funky stuff and just play with your flat wash brushes and your color. I love these colors. Like I said, it reminds me of the Mothers prints. Just kind of bright and fun and cheerful without having to do florals. Maybe somebody's not a big flower person. So let's think out of the box and do some other things besides flowers, shapes, colors. It doesn't have to be this kind of stuff. It could be all circles or whatever. Just giving you ideas for different things to do when you're playing with watercolor. Not everything has to be a serious tutorial either. Sometimes it's fun just to play with color and your paintbrushes and paint. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thinking outside the box when creating cards isn't always about, you know, an actual object or thing you can see. Sometimes it's just fun to play with paint and color, and watercolor is like one of my favorite mediums for playing with washy color and all that kind of fun stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.